Very good morning to everyone. Welcome to our time. Everyone, maintain the decorum during a virtual conference so that there is no disturbance but it runs smoothly. Every moment is a fresh beginning, so why should we begin today's session? I welcome you all to the 36th National Conference. ICLIS jointly organized on the Department of Library and Information Science, Punjab University, Chandigarh, and Indian Association of Teachers of Library and Information on allied education, research, and training in COVID-19 era, impact, challenges, and opportunities. Now, I would request Mr. P.T. Mahajan, Chairperson, Department of Library and Information Science, Punjab University, Chandigarh, to commence the proceedings by welcoming one and all to the virtual conference and inform us about the department. Before we start, all of you please mute yourself so there is no echo and everyone can hear easily. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neha. Honorable Professor B.K. Kuthyala, Chairperson, Haryana Higher Education Council, Professor Bhaskar Mukherjee from Department of Library Information Science, Banaras Hindu University, and the key speaker today, Dr. D.V. Singh, former librarian, University of Delhi and guest of honor today, Professor I.V. Malhan, President, ICLIS, Professor Jagtar Singh, Director, International Collaboration and Partnership, ICLIS, and all the dear participants from the field of library and information science, a very good morning to you all. I, Professor P.T. Mahajan, on behalf of Punjab University, Chandigarh, and on my own behalf, welcome you all in the 36th National Conference of ICLIS being organized online on 17th and 18th December 2020 by the Department of Library and Information Science, Punjab University, Chandigarh. This is the first ICLIS conference being held virtually, which is an alternative mode of holding conferences in the new normal being faced worldwide because of COVID-19 pandemic. Usual conferences have always provided us with an opportunity to have face-to-face healthy academic discussions and chats with the participants over a cup of tea, lunch, or dinners, which we will be really missing this time. However, we take this also as an opportunity, and I am sure that this conference would certainly be an enriching experience for all the participants in enhancing their domain knowledge. Since you are not able to visit our university and the department in person this time, let me brief you about the same. Punjab University, Chandigarh, established in 1882 as the University of Punjab at Lahore, has a long tradition of pursuing excellence in teaching and research in all domains of human knowledge, including science and technology, humanities, social sciences, performing arts, and sports. It supports excellence and innovation in all academic programs. By virtue of its history and experience, achievements, and philosophy, the Punjab University has attained a national character and enjoys an international stature, attracting faculty as well as students, not only from India but also from all over the world. Over a period of time, the university has grown and dwelt many folds. Presently, the university is having 73 teaching and research departments, institutes, centers, besides 4 independent chairs for research and 189 affiliated and constituent colleges spread over Punjab and Chandigarh. It gives me immense pleasure to inform that our university has been ranked second in the utter ranking of institutions for innovative achievements among Indian universities as declared by Ministry of Education, Government of India in 2020. In the same year, International Ranking Agency of Times Higher Education Group has also ranked it 4th among the Indian institutes and universities. The Department of Library Information Science at Punjab University offers bachelor's, master's, and PhD in library information science, and these programs are based on the practices and underlying theories of information acquisition, organization, dissemination, and utilization in accordance with the market-oriented employment. The faculty in the department has accepted the challenge of online teaching and learning during the current pandemic period and has used it as an opportunity by hosting about 30 webinars during the lockdown period, wherein many national and international library information science professionals delivered the talks. Keeping in view the same perspective in mind, the Department of Library Information Science and ITLIS are jointly organizing the 36th ITLIS conference. The theme of the conference is LIS Education, Research and Training in COVID-19 era, Impact, Challenges and Opportunities. Recently, the Government of India has also passed the New Education Policy 2020. In that context as well, I feel the theme of the conference is varied. There are many sub-themes which too have been very thoughtfully worked out to serve the user community even in the present pandemic phase of COVID. I am sure during these 2 days, the eminent speakers and professionals from the field of library information science will be deliberating and contributing significantly to enrich the knowledge of participating LIS faculty and professionals. With these words, I once again welcome you all to this online ITLIS conference and wish everyone a very happy and enjoyable participation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And before we further begin, I would again request everyone to please keep themselves muted so that there is no disturbance while the conference is going on and everyone can actually listen to what is going on instead of having an echo overall. Thank you so much for your patience. Now, I would request Professor Ivy Malhan, former Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, Central University of Himachal Pradesh, Dharamshala, and President, ITLIS, to welcome all the participants and our esteemed guests to the webinar and provide a brief introduction to the ITLIS. Thank you so much. Over to you, Professor. Thank you. Professor Malhan, please unmute yourself so that we all can also listen. Thank you.
Okay. Dear colleagues, good morning. It's my proud privilege to welcome you all. Are you able to listen to me now?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
And at the 34th National Conference of ITLIS, as Preeti Marsden also said, this is for the first time we are organizing ITLIS conference in the video conference mode ever since the inception of ITLIS. The idea of setting up the ITLIS as a Association of Teachers of Library Information Science was mooted at a UNESCO conference in 1960 at a seminar that was held at the University of Delhi. Subsequently, the discussions continued at SNDT Burma University, Banaras Hindu University, and again at Delhi University. So, but the association did not materialize. It was eventually when at the DRTC Bangalore, when a senior lecturer from England, Derek, came to deliver the DRTC lectures, Sharda Ranganathan lectures on teaching of library classification, and many teachers from India, they attended that lecture, including Professor P.N. Kolla. And there they mooted that we should form this association. And with the initiative of P.N. Kolla and D.V. Krishna Rao, they hold a meeting on the concluding day of this seminar. And on the concluding day, on 19th of December, in 1969, they formed this association. And again, in the subsequent year, a seminar on library education was held at DRTC in 1970. And on under the dynamic leadership of S.R. Ranganathan. And on 21st of December 1970, they approved the constitution of ITLIS also. And this way the association formally started. And as the Secretariat of Association shifted in 2008 at Punjab University Patiala, that was the golden year for the expansion of this association. Association remained in the formative years. No doubt, some professionals like P.N. Kolla, Neela Megan, Bashiruddin, they played a key role. But when it shifted to Punjab University Patiala, it has undertaken enormous expansion. 2 more awards were instituted, membership increased to 600, list servers were started, and Journal of ITLUS Journal was also started, which is a peer-reviewed journal. A lot of specialized lectures were in Punjab University. Also hold one conference of ITLUS there, and regularly the conference is being held since 1986. And at Punjab University Patiala, they also instituted 2 more awards, research award with the contribution of the professor. And I think the lot of collaboration with several other countries also continued from this secretariat, like Mauritius, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, China, and even the country like USA. Specialized lectures were organized, and they also collaborated with the Ramdev Trust to institute another award and specialized lectures. And we had a director of collaboration and partnership who is looking after collaboration and partnership with different institutions. In collaboration with IIT Madras and with IIT Mumbai, this association organized specialized lectures for the teachers, and also the workshops in the best interest of teachers, particularly in the technology areas. And several teachers from all over India, they were participants at such workshops. And further collaborations are going on, but this year we could not do anything because of the COVID situation, all of us know, except this conference in the video conference mode. The COVID has disrupted the life of each one of us, and outside the higher education and the universities, it has affected the society at large. Besides the major issues like health issues, it is also affecting the society, it is affecting the economy, and it is affecting the jobs. And of course, it will have ultimately impact on higher education also. ILO says that 81 million people lost their jobs in the Asia Pacific region only. So you imagine, and they say that it will push many people to the extreme poverty. And in the years to come, there may be a lot of unemployment because the economies are not growing. But in spite of this situation, the governments have had their intervention. They have even organizations. They are reducing the working hours of the employees, paying them salaries. Governments have organized social welfare programs. They are trying to revive the economy, but the situation is very difficult. But what effect it will have on higher education? In the universities, the models like the get a graduation degree, that model will be under threat. The students may be enrolling for skill-based courses. So the universities will have to revise their curricula to offer flexible systems of education where the movement of graduates from one university to another university is possible, where the student-centric education is made possible, and students will enroll for the courses where they get employment, and there may be more orientation and slant to skill-based courses, because in such a situation, survival and jobs, that is very important. And the university departments may be more porous for collaborations with other departments. For example, for research in library information department in information science, they may collaborate with the education department for learning researchers. So learning and information, there can be joint research projects like that. Students from library science departments may enroll in other departments. and the universities may allow that flexible system, and that enrollment they may require to earn skills and multiple skills. Having multiple skills and degree, even designing of degrees involving multiple skills that universities may be offering for their survival, because multiple skills will be the need of the hour to exist in this kind of post-COVID environment. And I think mobility from one university to another university credit, so we are likely to have a flexible system of education which is user-centric, and this will also have impact on library and information science. As far as the research is concerned, there may be more orientation on applied research. For example, in Sweden, one of the library science department, they had a very good piece of research, that is algorithms of society, and this is adopted and commissioned by their Department of Planning and Future Planning and Strategic Management. So this is adopted by the government. There may be demand for such kind of research instead of just fundamental research. So I think the participants here will look into these issues in their presentations. They will see what we have achieved in the past and what is the current scenario and what are the future possibilities in library and information science. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Malan. That was highly enlightening. I also didn't know half the things that you have told right now. I was also able to understand a few more things now. Now, I would request Professor Jagtar Singh, Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, Punjabi University, Patiala, and Director Collaborations and Partnerships, IATLIS, to introduce to the theme of the webinar. Please, Professor Jagtar, could you continue?
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Punjab University, Chandigarh, Chief Guest, and the local organizers and other participants of this webinar, a very good morning to all of you. So because we are having more and more of everything and less of time, I'll not take much time because other people are also to contribute their inputs. So, Preeti was mentioning that they have conducted 30 webinars. So immediately an idea came to my mind, the quantity and quality. So we are to make critical analysis of what is the takeaway of these webinars. So what we are going to get from these webinars. Because there is a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift is from, firstly it was from teaching to learning, and then it is from rote learning to resource-based skill-centered learning. So now we are focusing on project-based learning, problem-centered learning, and skill-based learning, student-centered learning. Traditional system was not giving choice to the students. And the core of library and information science, classification, cataloging, indexing is becoming irrelevant day by day, and media and information literacy is coming in the forefront. Also, there is a paradigm shift from physical classroom to virtual classroom, and the traditional constraints of space and time are not there. There is no limitation, and this is forced learning, use of technology. Otherwise, so there are limitations of this virtual classroom, but at the same time, we are enjoying as well as missing the physical classroom. So there is also one more paradigm shift from 9 by 5 syndrome to 24/7. Now the information, the education is available 24 hours of the day, 7 days of the week, and 365 days of the year. But the problem is technological changes are there, disruptive technologies are there, but our mindset is, majority mindset is same. We think that the day starts at 9 and finishes at 5 p.m. But that mindset and our thinking needs to be changed. From quantitative mindset, we will have to move to qualitative mindset. So Agenda 23, most of you must be knowing the Incheon Declaration in South Korea, that was adopted by And now the UNESCO is doing that by 2030, they want to achieve. Similarly, there are sustainable development goals. And in this, there are 17 sustainable development goals. And the goal number 4 focuses on education. And similarly, UNESCO has 2 prestigious programs. One is information for all, and second is education for all program. So we are trying to develop our partnership with UNESCO and International Federation of Library associations and institutions. UNESCO also, this IFLA also has its section on education, and the training section is there. And similarly, only yesterday I was talking to the UNESCO expert in information for all program for my PLA seminar. But she said that by the time I got your mail, the webinar was over. But in future, we would love to cooperate with you. Now, again, I am going to ask the UNESCO expert to be with us on the valedictory session of this. So that's the type of horizontal and vertical collaboration we are conceiving. So in my PLA seminar also, the President Christine McKenzie of International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions inaugurated the webinar on public libraries. Then there were speakers from South Asia, South Africa, Rachel Fletcher, who is an internationally known expert on information ethics and aesthetics. She also made a presentation, and similarly, one expert from Bangladesh. And there were many more in the queue, but because of the constraints of space and time, we could not give them the opportunity. So we are, since the constraints of space and time are not there is immense possibility. I don't see COVID-19 as a challenge. I see COVID-19 as an opportunity, because a lot of learning has taken place with regard to the disruptive technologies. Now, what has been the achievement of our international collaboration? We have been able to establish the UNESCO Media and Information Literacy Chair for Gender Equality and Youth Development has been approved for Punjabi University, Patiala. So the focus of this chair will be, perhaps this is the first in media and information literacy in South Asia that this chair, UNESCO chair after 2014, has been established at Punjabi University, Patiala. And the focus will be on gender equality, women empowerment, and youth development. Because parenting is very important. If mother is educated, the whole family, the whole society will be transformed. And youth is the future of nations. So youth, when we train the youth, then only then we can ensure sustainable development. Also, Punjabi University has also going to establish UNESCO's Regional Study Center in collaboration with the International Media and Information Literacy Institute, headquartered at Autonomous University of Barcelona, Spain. So it is the only university, Punjabi University is the only university from South Asia. There are only 11 universities of the world who are involved in this project. And Punjabi University is in that project because we have been continuously working for this international collaboration with UNESCO since last 15 years. And what is the mandate of this institute? We will be having joint degrees, partnerships, joint research projects, publication, capacity building programs, mobility of the staff and students. So that is what is going to happen. And fortunately, funding is not a problem for these universities. Cairo University and Autonomous University of Barcelona. So for 2 years, Punjabi University will not spend single penny. They will look after the expenditure. So that sort of partnership and collaboration we are ensuring. And then we also, the Punjabi University, or I am also member of the UNESCO Expert Committee for updating the media and information literacy curriculum for teachers. We are revising it to create the ripple effect. And then this syllabus will be translated into various languages of the world. And we also got, because of our work, opportunity to. We serve as lead editor of the Media and Information Literacy Yearbook of the UNESCO. This is a prestigious yearbook, and we are also on the editorial advisory board of this yearbook. Now, when we see what is the basic purpose of higher educational institutions, that is creation and dissemination of knowledge. Creation of knowledge is done by research. As Professor Mullen was saying, that research should be application research. It should not be recycling, cutting and pasting only. It should have valuable research. And then dissemination of knowledge is through the classroom and through various scholarly journals. So that creation, and we will have to move from quantity to quality mindset. And what is missing link in the educational system? I can say with confidence that character and capacity building are the missing link. When the students get education, they talk of packages in the corporate houses. They don't talk about the human values, morals and ethics. So human values, morals and ethics, that should be placed under the core of instruction across frontiers. Similarly, capacity building. We are focusing on professional education and bookish education. We are producing clerks or these technocrats. But more emphasis should be on this vocational education, where instead of seeking jobs, the students are able to generate jobs. So character, Guru Nanak has also said, "Sacho ore sabko upar sach achar." There should not be any gap between what we say and what we do. That gap between the rhetoric and reality must be plugged in. And similarly, the gap between the theory and practice must be plugged in. The gap between the tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge must be plugged in. And for that, I have a vision in my life. Punjabi University has got a lot of support from UNESCO and International Federation of Library. Now I am looking towards Punjab University Chandigarh and Central University of Punjab, Bathinda. I want that at Punjab University, a regional study center should be established for research on media and information literacy. Similarly, either at Punjab University Chandigarh or Central University of Punjab, there should be Ranganathan Research Center on knowledge organization. So University Grants Commission has these chairs and only the vision and then the will to implement that vision. That's most important. So the hallmark bottom line is that capacity building and character building should be the twin towers of library and information office. And then we will have to adopt the cluster approach at the base. Convergence and divergence. We will have to move on these two roads. And cluster, only with cluster approach, we can pool our resources. And there should be joint degrees with cognate departments, and there should be horizontal and vertical collaboration. And ITLS, Indian Association of Teachers of Library and Information Science, is all for. We will go beyond normal call of duty. If Punjab University Chandigarh or Central University of Punjab needs our help to seek funding and to seek this branding from international organizations, like International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions, we have got 33 crores of rupees for capacity building from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And there's an early India program going on. So money is not the problem. Problem is of the vision. Our impaired vision is not leading us anywhere. So our vision should be set in the right direction, and then there should be will and skill. And I said in the beginning, time is a precious resource. I won't take more of your time. Thank you very much for considering this man to be worthy of participation in this seminar. Thank you. I'm deeply grateful to the Vice Chancellor of Punjab University and the Preeti Mahajan and her team and all the webinar participants. I hope that with the next 2 days, we are going to get useful inputs which will inform our library and information science education and practice. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Professor Jagtar. As usual, you have been a true inspiration by providing your viewpoint, especially by highlighting to use this challenge and make it an opportunity by forming collaborations and continuing the process of learning. Thank you so much, sir. Now, moving on, we have amongst us Professor Bhaskar Mukherjee from DLIS BHU Varanasi. Prior to joining BHU, he has also served at DLIS Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidyalaya Bilaspur and Rani Durgavati University Jabalpur. His areas of specialization include webometrics, information technology, its application in libraries, digital libraries, knowledge organization, information storage and retrieval. He has undertaken many innovative teaching research projects and prepared course content for SAC Documentation Center, MLIS at IGNOU, and also helped in translation of UDC in Bengali language. He has worked as core member of Intercultural Studies at BHU and has provided many lectures at IGNOU Gyanwani, which is an education broadcasting FM channel on various topics. Apart from authoring many research papers in national as well as international journals, he has also published many books. He was nominated for International Biographical Source Who's Who in the World and received Raja Ram Mohan Roy Library Award in 2004. He's also serving as reviewer in various international as well as national journals. Without taking much time, I now request Professor Mukherjee to give his keynote address. Please, Professor Mukherjee. Professor Mukherjee, before continuing, could you please unmute yourself first? We can see your presentation, but we can't hear you. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Is it now visible and my sound is okay?
Yes, sir. Okay. Perfect.
Okay. All distinguished professor joined here in this virtual meet, all the teaching fraternity, professionals, guests, good afternoon to all of you. I feel indeed proud and privileged to join this prestigious platform with all of you. To my understanding, although as Professor Jagtar Singh told that COVID-19, or you can say COVID, has taken from us so many things, or you can say so many good days. But to my understanding, it also opens an immense opportunity to learn, to deliver ideas, and to disseminate knowledge through new means. I also believe, as our new friend hopefully will survive for another few months or so, so therefore, it is very, very important that we should be cope up with the current scenario. It is also essential to keep in mind that probably in coming days, a new variety of our new friend will come to test our immunity. But at the end of the day, we have to be very positive to delivering our ideas, or it is better to say we must plan ourselves accordingly so that anything whatsoever it will come, it should not submerge us on their wave. The new normal situation as we are passing through in current days, therefore, to my understanding, will not be based on our passionate way of delivering knowledge through eye contacts with our students, or by understanding their body languages and act accordingly, but with the scenario where probably, as we all witness, because we know it very well. Probably the end user will take a deep sleep at his own end by just hook up themselves into the link, but switch off their video and audio with an understanding that their presence is okay. Probably they will be busy with other or their own gaming on the same time. And by knowing everything, probably we have to act like an idiot box. Therefore, dear friends, I believe we have to be enough smart for our new normal students for the online mode. Actually, if you see here, online education as it projected, probably because of this COVID-19 and all, but this few data gives just an idea that, in fact, in India, the online education and its demand is growing on. What was only 247 million in 2016 is expected to reach with 52% increase by 2021. And most importantly, if you see clearly here also, that the most potent user group is age 15 to 40. And we all know India is a country in where we have survived with less infrastructure and resources. So for them, where such low cost education may be create huge opportunity to us. We all witness in the last few months, so many private players comes into the picture and they are launching themselves as one of the leader in educations. Altogether, to my understanding, the Banaras Hindu University, the Delhi University, Punjab University, all these associations who are surviving in this domain since last 100 or more years may not be able to project their creativity in such a manner what these private parties or these institutions are doing. Why? Because it has huge market. And therefore, being a teacher, being a professional friend in this field, I believe we also have to take special attention, give special attention on this domain to deliver our ideas, to deliver our knowledge. I believe we can also be. As the private players are now playing a significant role to capture this potential market, learning on new technology not seems as a casual force, but seems as a future necessity for our survival. And as necessity is the mother of all inventions, there is need to invent ourselves just to cope with the coming future. Now, if you see the COVID-19 period little bit in deeper manner, in context of delivering education or in context of the things we are getting through online mode, the gist of all this last 8 months is that basically still India is highly dependent on mobile technology. Probably very less of us using laptops or desktop for getting knowledge through online mode. And interestingly, if we really talk for desktop, they doesn't have that extent of accessories which is compatible for online educations also. Secondly, if you see properly, most of the content that is available on the web are mainly of on theoretical context. As we talk about the question of library and information science, library and information science have two particular areas. One is called theoretical aspects, and some of the papers, or you can say contents, are based on practical aspects. But in the last 8 months, we have not seen any private players, any institution have taken the dare to develop or to initiate such type of subject which needs practical orientations, or you can see use of laboratories, or our cases use of the schemes and codes is essential. There is a lack altogether. We have seen huge education, huge activities went on in the last 8 months, but there was huge lack on this area. Third, we have seen number of software so far come into the market with so many positive and probably some negatives too. As every software claims that they are the leader on their service or of their product, but at the same time, we being a teaching community understand that no software is ultimate for our student need in every aspect. Some have a good capacity to share, some have a good capacity to control the audience sounds, some must not have. So in this scenario, if we see the most three important things is the technology, that is a different species we are using, so we have to prepare our content in such a manner which should be cater the need of this young generation who are basically mobile user, not laptop user. We have to think ourselves that we have a lack of practical oriented subjects or knowledge into the domain of online teaching, and we doesn't have any visible proper software by which we thoroughly believe on it and use it in our teaching. Last but not least, we have to understand that altogether we are claiming that 99% of the population of India have some form of telephone, but still India is striving with the connectivity and speed in major parts. Except some major metros, or you can say major cities, most of the places faces the challenge of speed, bandwidth, and you can say regular connectivity. These are some of the issues we have already seen in the last 4 months. So when we are talking about delivering a content or delivering content on the COVID, forget COVID or online platform, we have to be very much important to understand that we have to prepare our course content in such a manner which must be goal oriented. So many issues, if we club together and then deliver, then it will be very, very difficult for the end user to understand or get it digested. We have to think ourselves that content should be enriched with practical issues also. Because if we see something in visual form along with in audio form, as we all know, the reception's power is quite high in that context. So we have to think on that areas also. And our approach should be stimulate student through the interest, to increase the interest. What I am trying to say that we should not be only concentrate on delivering knowledge or idea as a regular speakers through some behaving like a deliberations of knowledge through some idiot box, but we have to stimulate student in such a manner so that they personally inculcate themselves for their betterment. And as I believe, being a teacher, I feel regular evaluation is very, very important. Probably it may be in small, in unit or so, but it is very, very essential. Also, as I understand, the language and the extent should be very, very important. Here I mean to say by extent is the packaging system. You know, now everything is delivered in packaging system. If you see this switch network is also coming in form of packaging system, then it gives us a revolution of getting the little bit more bandwidth. Our human brain is also just like a structure of a pipe. How much we can take input from the source is very, very important. If we deliver it in scattered manner, in high level, probably I believe it will not need the purpose. Simultaneously, we have to think for, as we are, if we are making a thing in a very big size format, which is very difficult to transfer from one location to another. So many students of myself is staying in Bihar, and not I am talking about Bihar. It is just 30 kilometers away from Varanasi, and if I am sending some content in PDF file in little bit big size, they usually told that we are facing difficulties to download. Try to understand. That's why we have to keep in mind that we should not make learning material in a manner that is very specific for someone. It should not be device dependent. It must be device independent. And most importantly, a very, very important thing is that we, the teaching community, should develop our skill and competencies for providing the digital content in little bit different manner. This is another diagram. If you see this, since the inception's knowledge is being transmitted, either this, there are two types of knowledge, as we all know. One is called declarative knowledge, and another one called procedural knowledge. Since the inception, when we are talking about Blackboard, we are asking the student to sit into the library, gather data, prepare a assignment, everything when we are talking about, basically we were concentrate on the declarative knowledge. But to my understanding, in the present context, we have to be stressed, or you have to be give special attention for procedural knowledge, in where we have to develop the skills, we have to develop some process and strategies for making themselves ability to do. Altogether, I believe somebody is saying mode is very important, but to my understanding, any mode, synchronous or asynchronous. Synchronous means live, anything that you are attending at the live way, or asynchronous mode, that is making the things in your own side and then deliver it, and people will read it as and when they will feel it useful. As our new education policy, as everything has already entrusted with all this, that synchronous as well as asynchronous mode is very, very important in present context for updating knowledge or getting knowledge thoroughly. Therefore, I believe we have to develop certain skills, and this skills is basically, particularly if I am talking about teacher, it must, we have to develop our analytical skill of thinking. It's not directly what is available we have to be thrown. We have to be thrown keeping in mind that what may be useful to them on the basis of their syllabi or on the basis of the job market. We have to design our syllabus. We have to develop such a skill for designing that it must fulfill the current need. We have to improve our pedagogical skills. At the end of the day, I believe being a teacher, this skills is utmost and most important skills we must be developed. The extent of knowledge if a person have, or if we have, certainly other skills may come to us automatically. But in additions to all, as I believe in present day, we have to have developed our technological skill, managerial skill, and communication skill too. But at the same time, I also expect from student community that they also have to develop certain skills in the present scenario. And all these skills I have mentioned over here. But as a teacher, if you ask me, then it is certainly, I must say, only the skills is not the last word for making the successful online education, for making the education most successful. It is very, very important that among all these skills, at what extent, if we can able to make the intersections of more than one skills in better manner or to a greater extent, so certainly we will get more success. That what I mean to say, that if a person only have technological skill, or if a person have huge pedagogical skill, or if a person have only the content knowledge skill, probably in the current scenario it is not said to be enough. The enough or the beauty of all these online educations is that if we can intersect with all these skills in such a manner so that it will be useful, actually useful to all of us. At the back end, I particularly believe, as Professor Jagtar Singh already told, as Malhan sir has also told, that we have to take initiatives for the development of a curriculum which basically supports to ability to do. It's not only the bookish knowledge. Innovative courses should be introduced or promoted in such a level or such extent that students get energized to learn. Credit system must be introduced, and we must know that there are so many institutions of India have already introduced credit system into their syllabus, but still the transfer of credit, or you can say credit bank facility, is still mired in our syllabus or our courses. So we have to think also on that directions. I believe the special attention need to be for improving our knowledge skills, communication skills is very essential. And if you particularly ask me, then I must say only the technology will not serve the purpose, because I believe technology is a support system but not the core system at all. So only the technology will not give us the solutions. And as ministry, NCERT, and all education system, MHRD has specially given attention for delivering knowledge through 4 quadrants. So I believe this is also essential. We should be concentrated on 4 quadrant systems. As we have talking about these 4 quadrants, these are some of the technology that are available with all of us, and I don't believe we are not well accustomed of, but I am just showing you little bit some slides. These are virtual learning tool, and then it is some are learning management softwares. One of the very important tool is Moodle. We can use these tools. Then there is a authorizing tool. This is one of the new tools that are coming into the market, It is not only the content management tool, but it is a authorizing tool. One of the very common tool is known as the course lab that you can use. But another very important tool is available in the market. It is a new tool just coming, but it is a priced one that's known as Gomo. It is known as authorizing tool. And you know, all these tools should be compatible with the SCROMs, that is searchable content object reference model. It is a different time, probably I can discuss with this issue. I am not going in detail what is SCROM compatible, how it can be and how it cannot be, as I believe this young generations are very well accustomed with all of this. So SCROM compatible education material, delivering education material is very, very important. And there are some of the electronic resource management tools is also there. It is necessary for the librarians to be cope up themselves with this electronic resource management tools. And one of the such very important tool is Corel, because you know Corel have the facility of licensing and then usage statistics. You can integrate this system with the existing Koha. So it is very, very, and then you can take the usage statistics of all this. So these are very, very important. If we talk about the quadrant 2 approach, then there is a very important tool is called screen scarcity that we can use for developing our course content in offline mode. And then if you say about assessment tool, that is called quadrant 3. One of the very, very important, as you know, test portal is there, Moodles have the facility, as well as text exam courses is there. And if we talk about this meeting tool, all we are using now today, this conference is also being held with the use of Google Classroom. But there is a very interesting tool, to my understanding, is available, and that's called Jitsi. It's a free open source tool. You doesn't have to anything of that. You doesn't need any account. And the most importantly, at the user end, if he or she using mobile phone, he only install. But if he's using simple this computer, he doesn't have to install anything. Automatically it will start. These are the tools are already available. So I believe all these tools are very important for developing the course content and making it more attractive manner. But at the last, but not in the least, I also believe in this whole endeavor, the role of librarian is very, very important. Because you know, because of this COVID and all, altogether, the digital access licensing and the process which was earlier existed probably is not at all matched with the current situation. Professor D.V. Singh will discuss this matter or will enlighten us detail in this matter. So I will not take up this job in detail. But I believe the role of librarian for delivering the contents, MOOCs contents and all, by negotiating with the existing publishers is very, very important. Without taking much more time, I am now stopping myself, and thanks to all for giving me this opportunity and also time just to complete my idea. Thanks to all. Pranam to all the eminent speakers, my respected seniors. Thanks to all.
Thank you, Professor Makhija. Your take on online learning and education has shed more light from various perspectives by telling us both theoretical as well as the practical aspects in this scenario and how we should move forward. Thank you, sir. I now take this opportunity to introduce Dr. D.V. Singh, who is presently working as library advisor in Mahatma Gandhi Antarrashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya, Wardha. Prior to this, he served as University Librarian at University of Delhi and University Librarian at Kurukshetra University, also a librarian at Sri Ram College of Commerce, University of Delhi, and librarian at Malviya National Institute of Technology. He has been an active member of ILA by serving as the President, Senior Vice President, and General Secretary. He has served as at Delhi University Teachers Association and has been a member of National Book Promotion Council of Department of Higher Education, Raja Ram Mohan Roy Library Foundation, and Bureau of Indian Standards. He has published many research articles apart from being editor-in-chief of 12 volumes. He has also been on the board of Reford Business and authored books on academic library systems as well as translated IFLA's public library guidelines. He was also a part of B-list course materials of IGNOU. As a part of recognizing his services to the profession, he has been awarded the Best College Librarian Award, Promoter of ILA Award, Gidwani Deshpande Best Academician Librarian Award, ILA Kola Best Librarian Award, Satkal Best Librarian Award, and so on. Today, Dr. D.V. Singh would be speaking on impact of COVID on libraries and library and information science education. Over to Dr. D.V. Singh, please. Thank you.
थैंक यू नेहा। सबसे पहले मैं आइटलिस का धन्यवाद करूंगा, प्रोफेसर मलहन, प्रोफेसर जगतार सिंह, आवर चीफ गेस्ट डॉक्टर बीके कुटियाला जी, भास्कर मुखर्जी और पार्टिसिपेंट्स। इम्पैक्ट तो बहुत लोग अंग्रेजी में बोले, शायद मुझे हिंदी में बोलना ही चाहिए क्योंकि हमारी न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी जो है वर्नाकुलर पे बहुत जोर दे रही है और वो होना भी चाहिए। जब हम हिंदी समझ सकते तो हिंदी में बोलना ही चाहिए हमें। चलिए, वो तो अलग विषय है। ये इम्पैक्ट केवल एजुकेशन, लाइब्रेरी एजुकेशन पे नहीं, हर जगह पड़ा है, लेकिन एक इम्पैक्ट सब जगह पड़ा है कि हम लोग बहुत जल्दी से डिजिटल की तरफ चले गए जो हम एक्सेप्ट नहीं करने को तैयार थे। यहाँ मैं महाभारत का एक छोटा सा उदाहरण देता चलूं। जब पांडवों को जंगल में भेज दिया, उससे बड़ा मिसफॉर्चून किसी का नहीं हो सकता था। राज्य चला गया, खाने का ढंग नहीं है, जंगल में रहना, और 1 साल तो उनके लिए ऐसा था अज्ञातवास, अगर उसमें पकड़े जाएं तो फिर उतना ही पनिशमेंट उनको। लेकिन उन्होंने उस दुर्भाग्य को अपने सौभाग्य में बदला। डिफरेंट स्किल्स उन्होंने लर्न की और उन्हें बहुत अच्छे से उन स्किल्स को, युद्ध को सीखा, नए युद्ध के तरीके सीखे और नया ज्ञान इकट्ठा किया। और क्योंकि वो इकट्ठा करके जब लौट के आए वो विनर हुए, और दुर्योधन जिसके पास सारा फॉर्चून था उसने कुछ नहीं सीखा। तो ये जो दुर्भाग्य विश्व के सामने पैदा हुआ, महाभारत में इसका यही जवाब है कि आप लोग जो हैं इससे कुछ सीखिए और इससे लड़ना सीखिए। और इसने हमें कुछ सिखाया भी है, कुछ हमने सीखा भी है। बहुत सारे प्रश्न इसमें उठ रहे हैं कि एजुकेशन का क्या होगा इन जनरल एंड सो फार लाइब्रेरी साइंस इज कंसर्न इन पर्टिकुलर। एजुकेशन कोई स्टैटिक चीज नहीं होती, कि वो एक डायनेमिक चीज है। जिस दिन एजुकेशन का डायनेमिज्म डाई होने लगेगा, जो थोड़ा थोड़ा दिख भी रहा है ड्यू टू पॉलिटिकल इंटरफेरेंसेस, पिगमीज वाइस चांसलर बन जाते हैं, कोई रजिस्ट्रार बन जाता है जिसकी हैसियत कुछ नहीं है, पॉलिटिकल रीजन से वो एक इम्पैक्ट दिख रहा है। और ये एक दिन में नहीं शुरू हुआ, ये लंबी यात्रा है, उसका परिणाम सामने आ रहा है। दूसरे हमारे अपने प्रोफेशन में इसका तो क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा? सबसे बड़ा इम्पैक्ट इस डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन ने हमको इतना दूर कर दिया है लाइब्रेरी साइंस की कैपेसिटी और एबिलिटी से कि बस पूछिए मत। वो एक बड़ा विषय है, उस पर अलग से डिबेट होने की जरूरत है। अभी हमारे मन में कई सारे सवाल उठते हैं कि भाई हम जो रिमोट एक्सेस के थ्रू जो हम एजुकेशन इम्पार्टिंग कर रहे हैं ये कितनी सक्सेसफुल होगी। क्लासरूम में जाने का केवल ये मतलब नहीं होता कि एक टीचर पढ़ा रहा और आप वहां बैठ रहे हैं। नो, वो तो आपको आज यूट्यूब पे इतना सब मिल जाता है, डिस्टेंस में मिल जाता है। एक सोशलाइजेशन होता है। मेरे बराबर में जगतार सिंह जी बैठे हैं, वो पगड़ी बांधे हैं। दूसरा मेरे बराबर में कोई मुस्लिम बैठा है, वो कुछ और पहने हैं। हम जब सब साथ में बैठते तो एक हम में को एग्जिस्टेंस की जो चीज डेवलप होती है क्लासरूम में, वो डिस्टेंस से कभी नहीं हो सकती। कई बार हॉस्टल्स की बात चलती है, लोग कहते हैं कि अलग अलग कम्युनिटी का हॉस्टल बना दो, इससे गलत बात ही नहीं कोई। जब हम हॉस्टल में रहते हैं हम दूसरे की कल्चर को टॉलरेट करना सीखते हैं, और जब हम सबकी कल्चर के साथ में रहना चाहते हैं तो जो सिस्टम, जो सिद्धांत है को एग्जिस्टेंस का, वो विकसित होता है। डिस्टेंस से आप फैक्ट्स पास ऑन कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जो कल्चरल जो कोहेंसिवनेस क्रिएट करनी है वो यूनिवर्सिटी में ही होगी, वो क्लासरूम में ही होगी। जब हम अलग अलग भाषा के लोगों से, अलग अलग कल्चर के लोगों से एक साथ बैठ करके एक दूसरे की कल्चर का सम्मान करना सीखेंगे। ये बहुत बड़ी ट्रेजेडी हमारी लाइब्रेरी साइंस एजुकेशन में होने जा रही है, और के बारे में तो मैं क्या बात करूं। जब हम लाइब्रेरी में जाते हैं, मैं आज यहाँ वर्धा में हूँ, यहाँ लोग मराठी बोलते हैं और मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा करके मराठी भी सीख गया हूँ। अगर मैं पंजाब में जाता थोड़ा करके पंजाबी भी सीख लेता, थोड़ी बहुत सीख भी ली अपने दोस्तों के संग में। ये जो चीज है, जो एक्सचेंज है, तभी तो हमारे गुरु नानक देव जी महाराज 10-20 हजार किलोमीटर यात्रा की और भिन्न भिन्न कल्चर्स में हो गए, भिन्न भिन्न भाषावादियों में गए। वो तो पंजाबी बोलते थे, लेकिन वो तो चिटागांव भी गए, वो तो इराक और वहां भी गए, और वो उस ज्ञान को बांटते चले गए, वहां से ज्ञान को लेते चले आए और एक अच्छा सा तैयार करके हमें ज्ञान दिया कंडेंस फॉर्म में। क्लासरूम केवल ये नहीं होता कि कुछ फैक्ट्स दे दिए और आपने फैक्ट्स ले लिए। क्लासरूम हमको टॉलरेंस सिखाता है, क्लासरूम हमको 1-to-1 टच में लेके आता है, जो पर्सनल होता है, बट इस डिस्टेंस से वो होने वाला नहीं। लेकिन इस डिस्टेंस के बिना फ्यूचर में हम जी भी नहीं सकते। कई लोगों ने कहा कि भाई हमारी मूवमेंट पर रेस्ट्रिक्शंस लग गई, कुछ 10 प्रश्न उठे अंतरराष्ट्रीय स्तर पे, इनका एक एक का छोटा थोड़ा मैं जवाब दूंगा कि क्या हम वापिस नॉर्मल पे आएंगे? बिल्कुल आएंगे। लेकिन साथ साथ एक और बात है, अगर हम ये सोचे कि अब इसका एक वैक्सीन आ गया है और लग जाएगा और इससे छुटकारा हो गया और ये ऐसी समस्या दोबारा पैदा नहीं होगी और कोई वायरस आ जाएगा। कल तक, 1 साल पहले तक, फरवरी मार्च तक हमको इसका कुछ नहीं पता था। हमें ये भी नहीं पता था डॉक्टर को कि कैसे डील करें। आज हमारा सर्वाइवल रेट 97-98% हो रहा है, 1.5% डेथ हो रही है। लेकिन शुरू में तो हमारी डेथ 15-20% थी, और जिन देशों में सबसे पहले वहां तो और भी ज्यादा थी। लेकिन हमने उस मिसफॉर्च्यून से सीखा। तो ये तो एश्योर होने की जरूरत नहीं है कि हम जैसे निकल जाएंगे तो सब कुछ, ऐसी और भी कोई समस्या खड़ी हो जाएगी। इसने हमें एक अपॉर्चुनिटी दी है कि ऐसी जो अननोन, जिसके बारे में हमें कुछ नहीं पता, जिसके बारे में हम कुछ नहीं जानते, इस तरह की पेंडेमिक्स आएंगी। 1917-18 में पेंडेमिक आया था। जब वो आया था तो कितने 5 करोड़ लोग मरे थे, इंडिया में सबसे ज्यादा मरे थे। लेकिन उसके बाद उसका वैक्सीन आया, अब ये आ गया, बीच में H1N1 दोबारा से आया था, सार्स आया था, क्या क्या ये आते रहेंगे। तो अब हम लाइब्रेरियंस को, लाइब्रेरी साइंस के टीचर्स को स्पेशली, लाइब्रेरियन तो एक एंड प्रोडक्ट है, लाइब्रेरी साइंस का टीचर तो प्रोड्यूसर है, तो उनको देखना होगा कि हम अपना करिकुलम कुछ इस तरह से डिजाइन करें कि वो मार्केट में जाकर के, वो लाइब्रेरी में जाकर डिलीवरी करे, और वो मेंटली प्रिपेयर्ड हो, साइकोलॉजिकली प्रिपेयर्ड हो, कल्चरली प्रिपेयर्ड हो, वो मेंटली स्ट्रांग हो, ताकि ऐसा कुछ होता तो मैं कैसे फेस करूं। इस पे विचार करने की जरूरत है। अगर हम इस पे विचार नहीं करते तो बहुत मुश्किल होगा। यहाँ में एक बहुत बड़े विद्वान है, उनको पद्म विभूषण दिया है भारत सरकार ने, जगदीश सेठी, मार्केटिंग के नंबर 1 आदमी है दुनिया में। उनका 3 चीजों की बड़ी जरूरत है। मार्केटिंग तो बोले बाद की बात है, मार्केटिंग तो अलग चीज है। उन्होंने कहा 3 चीज चाहिए, हर जगह चाहिए, जिनकी हमें बल्कि ज्यादा जरूरत है। एक उन्होंने कहा पैशन, एक उन्होंने कहा कंपैशन, और एक कहा कॉम्पिटेंस। ये जब 3 चीज मिलती हैं तब आप अपनी प्रोडक्ट का, अपनी ज्ञान का, अपनी योग्यता का दूसरे को कन्वे कर सकते हैं। आप में पैशन हो कि मुझे अपने स्टूडेंट्स को ज्ञानी बनाना है, उसको क्षमता देनी है, लेकिन उसकी कमजोरी के प्रति आप में कंपैशन होना चाहिए। उसमें कुछ कमजोरी है, वो बढ़िया अंग्रेजी नहीं बोल सकता, वो बढ़िया कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर सकता। हैव द कंपैशन विद द पैशन एंड यू टू हैव द कॉम्पिटेंस। अगर मैं कॉम्पिटेंट नहीं हूं, मेरे में पैशन कैसे आएगी? दूंगा क्या? वही चीज रिपीट करता रहूंगा, जिसे हम जिंदगी में रोज देखते हैं। और जब मैं उसे ही रिपीट करूंगा तो मैं फिर अवॉइड करूंगा, या तो मैं उसे कैंटीन में ले जाके चाय पिलाऊंगा, रोज रोज बच्चों को चाय पिलाऊंगा। अच्छा चलो अभी मैं बिजी हूँ, 50 रुपए में, जानते हो ऐसे टीचर्स को, ये 100 रुपए ले जाओ जब तुम लोग चाय पियो। अरे एक बहुत बढ़िया टीचर है। नहीं, 3 चीज सेठी ने बहुत अंडरलाइन किया है, पैशन, कंपैशन एंड कॉम्पिटेंस। टीचर कॉम्पिटेंट होना पड़ेगा उसको, उसमें पैशन होनी चाहिए, जो रंगानाथन जी में थी, ऐसे बहुत लोगों में थी। मैं वो तो हमारे शीर्ष हैं। और जैसे हमारे गुरु नानक देव जी में भी एक पैशन थी कि मैं जाऊं, अच्छी अच्छी चीज सबको बताता जाऊं और एक जगह ना रुकूं, ताकि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों का कल्याण हो। और जब पैशन होती है तभी कंपैशन होता। ये 3 चीज मिलकर के कंप्लीट ह्यूमन बनाता है, कंप्लीट टीचर बनाता है, कंप्लीट कोर्स बनाता है। हमें उस पर ध्यान देना, वो हमारे ऊपर इम्पैक्ट है, उस पर विशेष ध्यान देकर के हमें आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा। अगर इनमें से कुछ भी कम हो गया, कॉम्पिटेंस नहीं है, तो सब बेकार है। जैसे एक मजाक है और बात सही भी है। एक बार एक महात्मा नाव में जा रहा था, उसने पूछा उससे, सेलर से, मल्लाह से, कि वेद पढ़े हैं, गुरु ग्रंथ साहब पढ़े, हर चीज की मना करता रहा कि तुम्हारी आधी जिंदगी खराब है। तो जब वो नाव डूबने लगी, उसने कहा महात्मा जी तैरना आता है कि नहीं? बोले अब तुम्हारी सारी जिंदगी खराब है। अगर हमारे में टीचर में कॉम्पिटेंस नहीं है तो बेकार है। तनख्वाह और पैसा तो गुंडे भी कमा लेते हैं, दाऊद कितना कमाए बैठा है, लेकिन उसमें कॉम्पिटेंस, और कॉम्पिटेंस एक कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस है। कॉम्पिटेंस का कोई फिक्स पैरामीटर नहीं कि आपने 60% लिया आप एमए हो गए, आपने 75% ले डिस्टिंक्शन हो गई, आपके 50% है तो आप सेकंड डिवीजन हो गए, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। कॉम्पिटेंस एक रिलेटिव थिंग है, कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस है। जैसे रोज सांस लेना, हर मिनट सांस लेना है, ऐसे ही हर मिनट कुछ सीखना है। अगर मैं यहाँ F.W. लैंकेस्टर को कोट करूं, उन्होंने किताब, बहुत फेमस बुक हुई है उनकी, मेजरमेंट एंड इवेल्युएशन ऑफ लाइब्रेरी सर्विसेज। उसमें एक जगह वो कहते हैं, अभी 2013 में उनकी डेथ हुई, इंडेक्सिंग एब्स्ट्रैक्टिंग में उनका नाम था, आई थिंक ही वाज द फर्स्ट पर्सन हु इन्वेंटेड द आइडिया ऑफ वॉललेस लाइब्रेरी, जिस पे हम आज जी रहे हैं। उसने कहा कि जो इवेल्युएशन ऑफ लाइब्रेरी सर्विसेज है वो लाइब्रेरी में नहीं इवेल्युएट होंगी, वो उसके क्लासरूम में होगी, जहां से वो ये सर्विस इवेल्युएट और सर्विस देने की टेक्निक सीख के आया। क्या वो टीचर सर्विस दे रहा था? तो उसके बारे में एलोबरेट करते, किसी आर्टिकल में मैंने पढ़ा, किसने लिखा कि टीचर सर्विस क्या देगा, यानी वो कॉम्पिटेंस के साथ में अपने स्टूडेंट्स को न्यू आइडिया दे रहा है, क्या उनमें सोचने का एक कैपेसिटी डेवलप कर रहा है। अब हमको इस कोविड सिस्टम में आकर के उस पर ध्यान देना होगा, हमें कंटिन्यूअसली पढ़ना होगा। कई बार हम लोग इंटरव्यू में जाते हैं, पूछ लेते रंगानाथन जी की 5 किताबों के नाम बता दो, 2 में टिक जाते हैं, प्रोफेसर का इंटरव्यू है। उनको पूछो पिछले 3 साल में कितना पढ़ाया आपने, तो उनके पास जवाब नहीं होता है, कोई किताब नहीं पढ़ी है। Knowledge is dynamic by nature, Ranganathan said very rightly in Program to Library Classification. And another word he used, it is quantinum. It is not in an isolated way moves further. No, it is quantinum. अब वो कहते हैं कि अगर आप एक तालाब में दाना भी डालते हैं चावल का, भले ही आपको उसका इम्पैक्ट ना दिखाई देता, वहीं आसपास में दिखता हो, लेकिन इम्पैक्ट उसका है। नॉलेज वेरेवर इट डेवलप्स, इट गिव्स इट इम्पैक्ट इन ऑल डायरेक्शन, क्योंकि मल्टी डायमेंशनल है, डायनेमिक बाय नेचर है। लेकिन एक टीचर जिसने नॉलेज इम्पार्ट करना, अगर वो डायनेमिक इन नेचर नहीं है, अगर उसका सिलेबस डायनेमिक इन नेचर नहीं है, तो वो तो डेड है, बेटर नॉट टू टीच। आज सिलेबस रिवाइज करने की जरूरत है, और ये कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस होना चाहिए, एवरी 3 इयर्स पे रिवाइज हो। कई सिलेबस मैंने ऐसे देखे 10 यूनिवर्सिटीज के इकट्ठे करके अब वो पुटअप कर दिए। जब फैक्ट्री में फॉल्ट प्रोडक्शन होगी तो उसके यूज क्या होंगे? खाक यूज होंगे। तो हमें सिलेबस को हर 3 साल पे रिवाइज करना होगा। और ये जो इम्पैक्ट हम कह रहे हैं कि इसका क्या इम्पैक्ट है लाइब्रेरी साइंस पे, सबसे ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट लाइब्रेरी साइंस पे। हम लोग पता नहीं क्यों, सर्विसेज कोर ऑफ द लाइब्रेरी, आत्मा है लाइब्रेरी की, तो उस सर्विस हम कहते हैं हम डिजिटल से ये भी कर देंगे, वो भी कर देंगे, बिल्कुल कर देंगे, लेकिन अभी हम उस लेवल पे आए हैं क्या डिजिटल के? और लाइब्रेरी की एम्बियंस का अपना मतलब है। अगर केवल डिजिटल से सब कुछ होने वाला होता, अमेरिका की डिजिटल सर्विसेज हमसे बहुत ज्यादा, 96 में उन्होंने डिजिटाइजेशन शुरू कर दिया था। अपने जर्नल्स MIT ने फ्री बांट दिए थे, इंडियन पब्लिशर्स ने वहां फ्री लिए, उनसे पैसे लिए और यहाँ पैसे लेकर के सप्लाई किया। तो इस बात से भूल जाइए कि कंप्यूटर ही एक सॉल्यूशन है। सॉल्यूशन आपकी कॉम्पिटेंस, कंपैशन एंड पैशन है। अगर आप में पैशन नहीं है, आप में कॉम्पिटेंस नहीं है, और आप में समाज के प्रति, अपने स्टूडेंट के प्रति, अपने देश के प्रति कंपैशन नहीं है, दया का भाव नहीं है, आपका दर्द नहीं होता है, तो कुछ होने वाला नहीं है। क्योंकि समय बहुत कम है, मैं इस पे ज्यादा टाइम तो नहीं लूंगा। एक बात मैं इसमें जरूर कहूंगा कि कैसे, व्हाट टू डू। बहुत थोड़ा सा टाइम है, 2-3 मिनट बचे हैं मेरे, उनको मैं टाइमली खत्म करूंगा। कि सबसे बड़ी समस्या जो है, जगतार सिंह ने पहले ही कह दी थी कि जो सबसे बड़ी मुश्किल है वो समय की है। बिल्कुल सही है, क्योंकि वो 24 घंटे ही है। वो किसी को भगवान ने ज्यादा दिए ना कम दिए। विद्वान के भी 24 घंटे हैं, मूर्ख के भी 24 घंटे हैं, ज्ञानी के भी 24 घंटे हैं, भ्रष्टाचारी के भी 24 घंटे हैं। फर्क उस 24 घंटे के यूटिलाइजेशन का है। एंड लाइफ इज नथिंग इज रिपीटेशन ऑफ 24 आवर्स। तभी तो जब बहादुर शाह जफर ने कहा था ना, सुबह होती है शाम होती है, जफर यूं ही जिंदगी तमाम होती है। तो जो हमें इवेल्युएशन करना है वो 3 साल का नहीं करना है, हमने 24 आवर्स का इवेल्युएशन करना है, मूल्यांकन। क्या मैं 24 आवर्स में ठीक से कुछ ज्ञान लिया है? आई एम ए टीचर। क्या उसमें से मैंने कुछ इम्पार्ट किया है? अरे टीचर को देख, बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी जो उसने एक्वायर किया है, उसको स्टूडेंट को बता करके उसको रिवाइज करने से उससे पक्का होता है। हम लाइब्रेरियंस को तो अपॉर्चुनिटी है ही नहीं। हमें जो ज्ञान मिला उसको लेकर के हम तो लाइब्रेरी में जाते हैं, किताबें अरेंज करते हैं, जिसकी नीड होती है उसकी मदद करते हैं, लेकिन टीचर को तो बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है। और दुनिया में जब जब परिवर्तन आए हैं वो टीचर लेके आया है। चाणक्य भी एक टीचर था। तो टीचर बहुत बड़ी ताकत होती है समाज की। लेकिन अगर टीचर कमर्शियल हो जाए, अगर टीचर आलसी हो जाए, अगर उसमें पैशन ना हो ज्ञान देने का, तो उससे बड़ी कोई लायबिलिटी नहीं है। ये बहुत सारी बातें हैं, बाकी कभी फिर लंबे समय में बात करेंगे। और यहाँ के समय का ध्यान रखते हुए मैं, हालांकि बोलना बड़ा मुश्किल है, जगतार जी जब बोल रहे हैं और मलन साहब और उधर मुखर्जी साहब ने तो बहुत अच्छा कहा, तो फिर भी मैं इन सब की ओर से गीता का 18वें अध्याय का 63वां श्लोक जरूर कोट करूंगा। और उससे पहले कहूंगा कि हमें एक सेमिनार करना चाहिए, द इंटरफेरेंस ऑफ द पेटी पॉलिटिशियन इन एजुकेशन पे विचार करना चाहिए। जो लोग कभी प्रिंसिपल नहीं हो सके वाइस चांसलर बन जाते हैं, उन्हें पता ही नहीं है कि व्हाट इज यूनिवर्सिटी इज। वो 24 घंटे उनकी नजर कहीं और रहती है। जैसे मार्क्स ने, आई डोंट बिलीव इन मार्क्सिज्म, बट सम ऑफ द थॉट ही हैज सेड वेरी नाइसली, ए ड्वार्फ ऑन द शोल्डर ऑफ ए ड्वार्फ सीज फार्दर देन द जाइंट। ड्वार्फ्स आकर के एक ड्वार्फ के कंधे बैठ के जाइंट से लंबे इरादे उनके हो जाते हैं, बट दे डोंट हैव द कैपेसिटी एंड एबिलिटी टू गिव द एकेडमिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एंड लाइट एंड इन द लीडरशिप टू द एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस। वी शुड थिंक अबाउट एंड have a seminar on it. And this is not has happened in 5-6 years. No, it is not the 5-6 years. It's happening right from 1950 and 52, since we have become independent, got the rein in our hand to give the education and the shape to our education. That's a different issue. I don't want to go in this direction. अंत में मैं गीता का 18वें अध्याय का 63वां श्लोक जो मुझे बहुत प्यारा है उसे कोट करके अपनी बात खत्म करूंगा। भगवान कृष्ण ने अर्जुन से कहा, ये हमारी डेमोक्रेसी है ज्ञान की, ये हमारी ताकत है। इति ते ज्ञान आख्यातम गुह्याद गुह्यतरम मया। अर्जुन, आख्यान हमारा पंजाबी में भी एक शब्द है, आख्यान ही लगता, ये संस्कृत का शब्द है। इति ते ज्ञान आख्यातम, इस प्रकार से जो मेरे पास ज्ञान था गहरे से गहरा अर्जुन, वो मैंने तुझे बता दिया। अब नेक्स्ट लाइन देखिए, ये टीचर का काम है, ये एजुकेशन का काम है। विमर्श एतद विशेषण है अर्जुन, विमर्श एतद विशेषण है, इस पे बहुत क्रिटिकली इसका मूल्यांकन करना, इवैल्यूएट इट वेरी एनालिटिकली, बहुत इसको बहुत विचार करना इस पे। और फिर क्या कहा, यथेस्थिति तथा कुरु, और जो तेरे मन में आवे वो करना। ऐसे नहीं कहा कि जो मैंने कहा इसको फॉलो करो, ये तो डिक्टेटरशिप है। भगवान कृष्ण ने कहा कि जो गहरे से गहरी जानकारी में रखता था, वो तो इतने समर्थवान थे, फिर भी जो मेरी गहरे से गहरी जानकारी थी, तुझे ज्ञान आख्यातम, ये जो मैं तुझे ज्ञान दिया है 18 अध्याय में अभी तक, लगभग 700 670 80 श्लोक तक, इसको ये मेरे पास सबसे डीपेस्ट नॉलेज आई हैड एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द इशू दे दिया। इसको क्रिटिकली इवैल्यूएट करना, इसका आलोचनात्मक मूल्यांकन करना, और फिर इसमें जो तेरा मन करे वो करना। ये नहीं कहा कि तू वही कर जो मैं कह रहा हूँ। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम दूंगा। यहाँ ज्ञान की एक बरखा रहेगी 3 दिन तक, और यहाँ बशीर बद्र को कोट ना करूं तो फिर ठीक नहीं होगा। बशीर बद्र ने कहा था, इन चिरागों को आंखों में महफूज रखना, दूर तक अंधेरी रात ही रात होगी। मुसाफिर आप हम भी हैं, मुसाफिर तुम भी हो, फिर न जाने किस मोड़ पर मुलाकात होगी। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रेसिडेंट मलन साहब, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जगतार जी, मैडम प्रीति महाजन, ऑर्गेनाइजर्स, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
इस ज्ञान के लिए शुक्रिया डॉक्टर सिंह, ये हमें आगे भी रोशनी देता रहेगा। Your viewpoint and thoughts have truly provided us with all the much needed insight in these testing times. We truly need to evolve as per circumstances with competence and to our 100% capacity with time management of the only 24 hours of each day. Now, I would like to welcome Professor B.K. Kothiala, Chairperson, Haryana State Higher Education Council, Vice Chancellor Makhan Lal Chaturvedi, National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal, Director at Panchnath Research Institute, Vice President at Indian Media Center, Director of the Boards of the Hindustan Samachar. Earlier, Professor Kothiala was Director and Professor of Institute of Mass Communication and Media Technology at Kurukshetra University. He has also held the post of Vice Chancellor, Director, Course Director, Director of Public Relations, Dean Academic Affairs, Dean of 3 faculties and Head of 9 departments. Also, First Appellate Authority RTI Act. He played a pivotal role in growth and development of Guru Jambeshwar University. Professor Kothiala is a known scholar in the field of mass communication and media research with more than 100 research reports, more than 80 research papers, and about 200 newspaper articles and 100 radio as well as TV programs. He has edited many journals as well as 2 books. He has been awarded for outstanding contribution in higher education, Chanakya Award, Vedic Ratna, Guru Shrestha, and Sarvshrestha Sancharak. He is associated actively with UPSC, UGC, IGNOU, NCERT, many universities and institutes of higher learning. Internationally, he has presented paper in quite a few conferences. I would now like to invite Professor B.K. Kuthiala for his presidential address. Professor Kuthiala, please.
Good morning to all present in this very informative and analytical inaugural session of 2 days exercise. Professor Indra Mahajan ji, Indra Malhan ji, Jagtar Singh ji, Professor Bhaskar Mukherjee ji, Professor D.V. Singh ji, Professor Mahajan ji, and coordinating Neha Sethi ji, all experts and all teachers involved in the process of learning and teaching of library and information sciences. My good morning, good afternoon to all of you. Last about 100 minutes have been a very revealing time for me. Yesterday, Professor Preeti Mahajan asked me a question which was quite telling on the status of the persons who are supposed to speak to the youngsters. She asked me, क्या आप बोलने के लिए आएंगे और फिर चले जाएंगे या पूरा सेशन अटेंड करेंगे? मैंने उनसे कहा कि मुझे बोलने से सुनना ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है, और आज पिछले लगभग 100 मिनट जो मैंने सुना, मुझे लगता है कि मेरा ये विश्वास कि सुनने में ज़्यादा लाभ होता है, बोलने से इतना लाभ नहीं होता है। मुझे आज ये बहुत अच्छा लगा, और जिस प्रकार से आपने 4 विशेषज्ञों ने अलग अलग विषयों पे बात की, like Professor Madan talked about the historical perspective of the growth of the organization, and Professor Jagtar Singh ji talked about the international and national collaborations between the science and art and craft of library and information sciences. Professor Bhaskar Mukherjee very elaborately talked about the online education, merits and demerits of online education, and he introduced the new concepts, and Professor D.V. Singh talked about the COVID impact. This all was a great learning experience for me, and since I'm looking after the higher education in a holistic manner, this viewpoint of the leaders of experts in the field of library and information sciences has given me a new perspective into the entire academic world of this emerging field. And I have a suggestion to Professor Bhaskar. Sir, if you can use the word omnipresent screen instead of the idiot box, because that is the situation today. We, whether COVID or pre-COVID or post-COVID, the screen, either of the mobile telephone or of a laptop or of any other instrument or desktop or of television, has become very important part of our system, and therefore screen is going to play a very important role in our future also, the new normal that we are all expecting in very near future, that a new normal has going to be pre-normal, pre-COVID was also the screen exposure per day, per hour of the population was increasing. Now COVID has increased it many folds, and the new normal will also be a situation where most of the time would be spent on the screen, and screen would be not only talking to us, but it would be listening to us. It would be not only showing us, it would be looking at us also, and that becomes very important. And when we talk about the library and information sciences, as a beneficiary of your science, as a beneficiary of a library system, and also the beneficiary of the information system, information science, I am the consumer of that thing. As a consumer of the services that you people provide, and you people train the people who are supposed to provide these services. As a consumer, as a beneficiary, as an user, I think your role is going to be more and more important, because we all know there is nothing new that I'm going to tell you, is that information has exploded. There is an explosion of information. And as Marshall McLuhan about 70 years ago used two terminologies: information explosion and information implosion. So within us also the information has exploded. Within our brains, within our minds, the information has exploded, and we are using much more information than we were using yesterday. Every day our exposure and use of information is increasing, and the total information that there is an Israeli scientist made a calculation that during last 10 years, that is April 2010 onwards, the total amount of information that humanity generated is twice the amount of the information generated before 2010 and for hundreds of years. The total amount of information that is today with the human race, about 90% of that has been created during the last 10 years. And that information explosion, जिसको भारतीय उसमें विराट शब्द का प्रयोग किया गया है, वो उसको विराट शब्द का प्रयोग किया गया है जिसकी कोई सीमा नहीं होती, उसको infinite माना गया है. But the question is, with this kind of information available with the humankind, this information needs to be managed. And this management of this information system is the responsibility of the people like you. You have to create the systems of managing this information, and you have been successfully doing it. I remember I was a student in Punjab University, and our best time was being spent in the libraries also, because Punjab University has a very, very rich and very, very well managed university, a library. And still I find that whenever I need a book which is not available online or with Google Baba, I request the library people in Punjab University, and invariably I get the books. That is a very interesting. And how you manage the total information system, or some people would like to call it a knowledge system. How you manage the knowledge system. I was in a US Congress library. I was doing some research, and when I got tired, I was about to leave. I just entered my own name in the search part of that system, and I got a surprise of my life that in 1978 I wrote a research paper which was very confidential. This was carried out for the Union Ministry of Home Affairs, and it was only 5 copies were produced, typed copies were produced, and that report I found in the US Congress Library. I didn't have a copy of that because all copies were taken by the Home Ministry, and I was so surprised. And then I told one of them, can I have a copy of it? They said, yes, why not? And they tried it that time, but the person who was to give the copy was on leave. And where I was staying in Washington, D.C., they gave that printed paper and a pen drive with that paper with me. Next day, they delivered at my home. This is the kind of management of the knowledge and information that you people are doing, and whole society, whole academic world, whole intellectual world is very, very dependent upon you, and they appreciate it. I as a person, I as a teacher, I as a academic manager appreciate that. But at the same time, what is needed to be done is, today what has happened is, this information explosion has converted itself into a commercial venture. It has become commercial. The whole system in this world, not only in the developed world, but also more in the developing world, it has converted itself into a information management economy. The entire economy is dependent upon the how fast is your access to information. It is no more information is power. At one point of time, we used to say information is power. No, it is now, it moved from information is power to access to information. Anyone or any company or any system that has quick access to information has an upper hand. But next is the huge information, like the storage devices and the storage the units that are used for the storing of the information. I'm told tetrabytes we had heard, but we have petabytes, we have exabytes, we have zettabytes, and we have yottabytes. Now, all this is huge information, and this information needs to be stored in some devices. There is tremendous amount of revolution in the storage devices also. Now we are talking of the storing capacity as crystal storing capacity, where 1 million of the CD-ROMs can be contained in 1 inch of the crystal. Now, this all is also changing, and you people are also changing along with it. But the information management, the character of the library science and the information science is changed a lot, and we have to ask ourselves a question: are we changing enough? Whether COVID or non-COVID, are we changing enough? Are we talking about the new storage devices? Because we are the most most important systems that are supposed to store the information and knowledge. Are we also facilitating the access to the information that we have? Are we aware of that? Are we inventing on that? Are we discovering on that? Are we popularizing the access systems to our beneficiaries? Then are we also focusing on the access, specific access systems? I'm sure these are all the things that you are, but the most important is the validity of the information and knowledge that you provide to your beneficiaries. Some kind of validation is required. We all know that Wikipedia, Google, and the search engine, the various research search engines, they talk about some kind of validity, but still there are in the media field, you are also aware of that amount of popularity of the fake news and the manufactured news, manufactured information. And we all know that in the previous elections of the US president, and in the, perhaps it would come out in, very soon, in the recent elections of the president of the US, United States of America, the information was manipulated for the electoral gains. Now, I think that is also one of the issues that you need to understand. And the management information economics is perhaps an additional topic or subject or area where we have to go into it. Otherwise, some other systems will hijack it, and then we are, as library and information scientists, will lose to other subjects. I think that is more important, but I must express my gratitude to the Department of Library and Information Science of the Punjab University, particularly Professor Preeti Mahajan, for giving me this opportunity to learn more about this subject and also become familiar with some of the leaders in this field. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much. And I wish and I pray that this today and tomorrow, all of you have an opportunity to learn more. But please, what you learn, please think over it. Do some introspection. मनन करना बहुत जरूरी है. उसको जो आप जाने उसके ऊपर मनन जरूर करें. ऐसा एक कान से निकाला, दिमाग में थोड़ा सा घुमाया, फिर निकाल दिया या रख लिया उसको, मगर उसको मनन जरूर करें. अंग्रेजी में कोई इक्विवेलेंट शब्दावली नहीं है इसकी, जो मनन करने की. और जो मनन करते हैं, हमारी जो प्राचीन ज्ञान परंपरा है, उसमें बताया जाता है कि जब आप मनन करेंगे, लगातार मनन करेंगे, ऐसे कुछ श्लोक आते हैं, ऋग्वेद में आते हैं, जिसमें यह कहा गया है कि आप जितना सुने, जितना आप पढ़ें, उससे 3 गुना सोचें, और उसके जितना सोचें उससे 100 गुना उस पर मनन करें. और जब हम मनन करेंगे तो आपको अनुभूति आएगी. आपको एक, जैसे कहा गया कि वेद जो हैं वो लिखे नहीं गए, सुनाए नहीं गए, उनको दृश्य किया गया. वो सामने दृश्य उनका आया, वो देखे गए. तो वेद जैसे जब हम मनन करते हैं तो मनन करते करते बीच में कभी कभी अनुभूतियां होती हैं. वो अनुभूतियां जो होती हैं वो उनसे वास्तविक ज्ञान, जो वास्तविक सिद्धांत है विश्व के, वो सामने आते हैं. तो आज 2 दिन का जो आप इसमें आपस में विमर्श करने वाले हो, एक्सपर्ट्स की बातें सुनने वाले हो, उन पे आप थोड़ा सा सोचें, समझें और समझ करके उनको अपने जीवन में लाने का प्रयास करें. और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि 2 दिन के इस विमर्श में कुछ नई चीजें निकलेंगी और उन नई चीजों को आप उनको प्रैक्टिकल में लाएंगे. चारों सम्माननीय वक्ताओं ने कहा कि हमको केवल थ्योरेटिकल नहीं होना है, हमको प्रैक्टिकल भी होना है. मुझे लगता है बहुत अच्छी दिशा में आप लोग जा रहे हैं. मेरी आपको सबको व्यक्तिगत और सामूहिक रूप से आपके इस ग्रुप को और इस विषय को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं हैं कि आप इन विषयों को आगे बढ़ाएं, ना केवल देश में परंतु अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर आप भारत को इस विषय का नेतृत्व प्रदान करने वाले विशेषज्ञ बने और आपका सब्जेक्ट और फूले फले. आपकी इसी कामना के साथ मैं आप सबका धन्यवाद करता हूं. जय भारत.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Your perspective was truly educational for us. It was nice to know about your take on the profession as well as know how to manage information during this time of information explosion and improvement. Access information that you gave us today will give us the power for future. Now, without further ado, I request Dr. H.P.S. Kalra, General Secretary at IPLIS and currently a professor at DLIS, Punjab University, Patiala, to provide the vote of thanks. Dr. Kalra, please.
Good afternoon to one and all. As General Secretary of ITLIS, it's my pleasure and duty to propose a vote of thanks. First of all, I'd like to thank the Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, Chandigarh, for giving permission to organize this conference in Punjab University in virtual mode. I thank the Vice Chancellor of Punjab University for this. My special thanks to Professor B.K. Kothiala, Chairperson, Haryana State Higher Education Council, first for staying throughout the inaugural session, staying with us throughout the inaugural session, and second for giving his insights in his presidential address about the management of knowledge and information and validity of information and other topics. My special thanks to Professor B.K. Kothiala. I'm thankful to Dr. Bhaskar Mukherjee, keynote speaker, who delved into the details of online teaching and the challenges and opportunities that this COVID scenario has provided, and the way we can provide online teaching and evaluation and other aspects that he delved into detail. I'm thankful to Dr. D.V. Singh, guest of honor, for sharing his valuable thoughts on libraries and education in general, especially library science education, and the role of teachers in providing education both in online mode and in offline mode. I'm thankful to Dr. I.V. Madan, President of ITLIS, for giving an overview of the ITLIS and in guiding us in organizing this conference. I'm especially thankful to Professor Jagtar Singh, Director of Collaboration and Partnerships, ITLIS, for sharing his thoughts on national and international collaborative efforts of ITLIS and the general overview of the changing paradigm of education. My special thanks to Dr. Preeti Mahajan, Chairperson, Department of Library and Information Science, Punjab University, and her team in the department for organizing this conference virtually. I may have left someone inadvertently in. My thanks to all those who contributed directly and indirectly. And last but not the least, I'm thankful to the participants who have come from all over India to participate in this virtual conference. Without their participation, this conference would not have been a success. Thanks one and all.
Thank you so much, sir.
Over to Neha.
Thank you. So now it's already time. We have finished with the inaugural session. We'll be taking a short break for lunch and we'll start with the technical session at 2:30. Thank you so much for your time and your patience. We will be now breaking up and we'll meet again at 2:30. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha.
Thank you, sir.